Welcome, student. This lab program is about congestion control using leaky bucket algorithm. Now, what does congestion means? Congestion means heavy data flow or heavy traffic of your data flow for a particular node or for a particular network. Now, what happens if there is a heavy data flow for a particular node? So the node cannot handle more data. So what it does is that it starts dropping the packets or the data. So this leads to the inefficiency of the network and the services cannot be handled properly. So to handle this efficiently, we need certain techniques where instead of dropping the packet, the traffic of the data flow should be maintained properly or efficiently such that the packets are not lost or the services is not disrupted. So this problem can be solved by a leaky bucket algorithm, which is based on the real life situation. Say water which is arriving at different rates from the tap, but the water will leak from the bucket at a constant rate from the small hole. So we're going to consider a situation where there's one hole in the bucket which outputs a constant rate of water but receives the water from the tap at different rates. So the same concept can be used in network communications where the data will arrive at different rates, but it will allow only a constant rate as output to a particular node. So thereby handling the congestion in a more better way rather than dropping off packets. So this leaky bucket algorithm is basically a method of temporarily storing of data packets and organizing them into a constant rate of packets in asynchronous transfer mode of network. Now, congestion usually happens in asynchronous mode because the data packets can arrive at different order or at different time. And in synchronous mode, more bandwidth is available, so there's less congestion in a synchronous mode. And this leaky bucket is basically used for congestion control technique, such as traffic policing and traffic shaping in Ethernet and cellular data networks. It can also be used to control metered bandwidth internet connection to prevent going over the allocated bandwidth for a month, thereby avoiding the extra charges. So we'll see how this leaky bucket algorithm is actually implemented. So for example, just consider the traffic that arrives. Say there's a one traffic of data that's arriving at 12 Mbps for 2 seconds, and there is 2 Mbps of data rate if the average bandwidth that is allocated can handle such data. So we have all the data, just like the bucket here. Here the bucket is used to store all the water and it collects all the data for a few amount of time, and then it allows a fixed flow of data, of water. The same concept is used in computer network communications, where a buffer is used to maintain it. So the buffer is called as first and first out queue, which holds the packets of all the incoming data. there's a queue which is going to hold all the packets. That's a FIFO queue. And it stores for a amount of time, and then it releases at a constant rate to the node or the processor that is used in the network communication. So if it is overloaded, suppose the queue is filled or the bucket is filled, then what happens? If the bucket is filled, then the packets are discarded. But if the bucket is not filled, it will receive it and stores it in a queue, and then it removes at a constant rate to the particular node. So this is how the leaky bucket is actually implemented. So it has a buffer which stores all the packets that is received, and then at a constant rate it is given to the receiver. So now the receiver is not overloaded with the packets, so it can handle the packets efficiently. The simple algorithm to describe the leaky bucket is that, so we have to initialize a counter which specifies what is the bucket size, so that if the bucket gets overloaded, it's going to start dropping it. So we'll initialize n to bucket size, and if the packet that arrives is less than the bucket size, then it is going to accept the packet and stores it in the bucket and decrements the counter. So this n counter will specify how much space available in the bucket to store more data. And as the packets arrive, keep storing it, and then it will reset the counter and repeats the process, and then sends all the packets at a constant rate to the receiver. So we'll see the program, how it is implemented. So first we're going to create a packet which has data, and there's a time allocator. So the time indicates what time it's going to arrive, so that any out of order frames will be discarded, so that the proper order of data will be taken by the receiver. So for a leaky bucket algorithm, the input, the data rate is at different rate, but the output rate is constant. So we need to know what is the bucket size and how much it is filled, and what is the output rate of a bucket. First, we'll collect all the packets that is arriving, how many packets are going to arrive, which is stored in n variable. Then we're going to collect the time at which it's going to arrive and its size. So each packet will have its time and the size of it. So bucket size is collected from the user end, and what output rate has the data has to be sent, that is also collected by the user. First, we'll initialize the m variable, which indicates the time of the last packet that's going to arrive, or which indicates the order of it. So the receiver is going to accept all the packets till it reaches that time. The I indicates the frame number. And the K will indicate which packet it's going to refer to. And B field indicates initially the bucket filled as 0, or the how much packets is present in the bucket is initially 0. So we'll start the loop where we're going to store all the packets in the bucket. All the arriving data packets are first stored in the bucket, and then it is released at a constant rate to the receiver. So the bucket here, it's nothing but an array, which is going to store all the data. So at time, say 1, because I is initialized at 1. So at the order of time, we're going to receive the packets. At time 1, what happens? Collect the, check if it's a proper time. So this statement will check if the time and the sequence number is proper. This is to check whether the packets are arriving in order or not. If it is out of order, it will be discarded. So if the time matches, then check whether the packet size can be stored in the bucket. So if it crosses the bucket size, then it's not. It will be discarded. So if the bucket size is greater than the fill size and the packet size, then you can accept the byte packet. So now the bucket is filled with the packet. Now how much size it is filled, that is indicated by this packet size. So this packet is added to the packet. So now the packet is filled with this size. And the message is printed telling that a packet has been inserted into the bucket. And how many packets are inserted, that is incremented by the K count. And suppose the packet size that is being added to the bucket, if it crosses the bucket size, then it is discarded. Now we've collected all the data packets in the bucket. Now we have to release this packet into a constant rate to a receiver. So the next step does the job. First, we're going to check if there's any data in the bucket. If there's no data in the bucket, we'll just display a message telling that there's no packet to transmit. And suppose if the bucket is filled, if the data is more than the output rate, then we have to send the data in the set rate that is given to the receiver end. Okay. So we'll take a packet that is of the output rate. So from the bucket, we are taking out certain bytes and then transferring to the receiver. Okay. So the output rate is which specifies what is the rate given to the node. Now the bucket size gets decreased because so much of bytes have been transferred to the receiver node. Now suppose you have another case where where the data that is stored in the bucket is less than the output rate. Then the third case is handled. So since the size is less than the output rate, whatever data is there in the bucket is everything transferred. So all the bytes in the bucket is given to the receiver. So now your bucket has become empty. So that is why B filled is made as 0. And after all the process is done, we can print the message indicating what is the remaining packets in the bucket. So this bfill will show you how much remaining space is there. Then we'll repeat the process for the next packet. So till how many packets are there, so much process. The same process is repeated to make sure that the data is sent on the proper output rate. We'll see an example how this leaky bucket algorithm works. Say, for example, there are 3 packets and we have the order of time given. So the time and the size is given like this. Say first packet is having 100 bytes, second packet is having 400 bytes, third packet is having 600 bytes. The bucket size is given as 500 and the output rate is defined as 200. So now you can see the data is arriving at different sizes, but the output rate should be constant as 200. So after the execution of this algorithm, so you can see at time 100 bytes is transferred to the receiver node. There's only one packet in the bucket, but the output rate is 200. So it is less than 200. So the whole data is transferred to the receiver node. Now at time 2, second packet comes, which is of 400. 400 is greater than 200. So only the output rate of data is transferred. So only 200 bytes are transferred. Now the remaining 200 is there in the bucket itself. In the third time, the third packet comes, there is 600 size. Now 600 bytes cannot be transferred because the output rate is 200. So the size of 600 is greater than the bucket size available. So this cannot be stored in the bucket also. So the 600 byte is discarded, and this 200 bytes, that is a second packet, that 200 bytes is transferred to the receiver. So by this method, the constant rate is maintained by the leaky bucket algorithm. Now we'll see another example. What happens if it comes in out of order? Say we have 4 packets and the input is given in such order, and the bucket. So at first time, 100 byte has been received and it's stored in the bucket and it is transferred. So the output rate is 100. So the constant rate is maintained. So after transferring 100 bucket is empty now, we can store more data. Again at time 2, we have this second packet which is arriving, but the time of order is 3. So since the order of time is different, that packet is discarded, it is received. So at time 3, we have received 400 bytes, and so now 400 cannot be stored in 200 because the bucket size is 200. At time 3, what happens? There's a mismatch in the time number. So this packet is not accepted. And the third packet is matches with this time. So 200 bytes, same as the bucket size available. So this one is accepted. So 2 bytes are accepted, are placed in the bucket, and 100, but the constant rate is 100. So only 100 bytes is transferred. So at time 4, so 600 bytes is not possible to be stored in the bucket, so it is discarded. And even 400 cannot be stored in the bucket size, so that is also discarded. So the remaining 100 bytes are transferred in the next cycle of time. So by this way, the constant data rate is maintained by the leaky bucket algorithm.